for a meetup group. I'm using Meetup, and Janet is. She started a New Mexico chapter, not just for books, but people to meet monthly. And I'd like to have you back, Mike, if it's okay, so we can get you more
information.
Mike's
coming on.
Sure.
Mike has part 2, the first hour next week, just to let you know, TJ. Mike is coming back on next week. Yeah,
wonderful.
So
well, let's get Annie on here. Let him say hi to her. Janet, is that okay with you? Do you mind?
Go ahead. You go ahead. I'm going to be on mute.
Okay. Annie, hi. Just real quickly, I'd like you to say hi to Mike. He's Connecticut, and I'm not even sure what chapter you're in. So, Annie, introduce yourself, and then we'll have Janet read your bio. Can you hear me? Okay, what's happening? Janet, I can't hear her. I see her here, and she's on. Janet?
Let me keep talking with Mike, and I'll text her phone, okay?
Yeah, 480. She's on, but I can't hear her.
Okay, you got her off. She might be on mute. I'll keep talking to Mike, and I'll see if I can get her. No, she might be on mute on her end. But go ahead, keep talking. I'll do the text stuff. Go ahead.
It's been a pleasure, and apparently you will be coming back. Yeah, so that's great. I was just going to have you say hi to another MUFON member. Yeah, but, don't let me discourage you in any way, because I'm all about MUFON and the work. Like I said, it only inspired me that a person totally misunderstood me, and I was racing out the door, and because I had books, and I don't think he realized my age, and that I'd been in MUFON years and years since, way back when they started. So I had run a history on the outside of MUFON, sort of an observer historian in like Assured Confidential Investigative Reports was one of my companies, and, American Culture International Relations, and I had a lot of people, a lot of groups, advisory council to the government, and then working in the Navy in uniform and to the President of the UFO during my age. Remember, us old guys, we were sort of the men in black, or women in black. So we have a group. I'd like you to, if you're serious about Mike, listening to some of the stories. We have UFO Secret Space as a social media group, and they like to talk about
would
all
like
the
to know
secrecy
more.
things. Okay, great.
I would like to
we
keep in touch a little more with you. Yeah, that'd be great. But,
all right. Well,
I'm sorry?
Yeah, we have UFO Association, and I've got Jan and me on there right now, but I'll be more than happy to create you a page if you want to be in it. It's free. It's no charge.
Yeah,
I only want serious people. Yeah, and we have a lot of social media people. Thousands of people. So I just, people say, how did they get in it? I'm like, well, they've known me since '67. So who are you?
How do I get access to it? So you do email me it?
Oh, sure. Yeah, just, well, right now, UFO Association's recreating itself after 50 years, but...
So you'll just email me the information so I can get on and talk with you
Well,
guys?
there's nothing to get on right now. I'm rebuilding it, but it's UFO Association. But, you mean, Facebook? Yeah, just go to UFO Secret Space Command.
Well, I can hear it.
Sounds funny. UFO Secret Space Command.
I can hear it?
Okay.
Okay. Annie, is that you? Did I hear somebody?
Yeah, we're getting some feedback. Is that Annie? I'm getting, like, somebody else's household.
I only hear
your
you
house
and
or
somebody
Annie's
in the
house?
background. It's not mine. I'm hearing nobody's
Okay,
here.
that must be Annie's background. I'll call her. Okay. Keep talking, TJ.
All right. Well, she's on live, and Mike, there's so many people out there that I've met, and some like to join MUFON and put in their money and do the research, and some don't, but they're still enthusiasts. So what's happened is in my metaphysical groups and psychic groups and like people like James Van Prague and people that John Edmonds, these are people that, that do more of the consciousness, ESP, parapsychology, and psychology and philosophy. And I was interested in that while I was going through law enforcement criminal justice, right? But I had to make a living, and my teacher says you can't make anything in philosophy, so they discouraged me from signing up in philosophy. But they did let me take a couple of psychology courses, and I really loved psychology. I loved to know people and how they worked, and I had all this death and dying in my life, when I was in the second grade, and then when I had my daughter. Yeah, she dropped off.
Try again.
She'll have to come back on.
She's not there now?
She dropped off. No, she dropped off.
Oh, okay. I'll call her back.
So we were on.
Keep talking.
But she was. All right. Well, keep talking. I think that means so we don't have dead air time, Mike. But anyway,
That's
so
fine.
what's happened
No
is I have the ACO Association, which I take more as a government contractor type of integrative medicine, where my daughter has leukemia, and she just got a report on her after 2 years of she's gone full-blown 100%, so she'll be passing here in the next, we don't want her to, but next couple of weeks or so, but she's walking and talking and breathing like you and me, but it's unfortunate for me to have her like that, and so it's really taken me aback because we've been knowing this for 2 years, but she had bone transplant from her son, but it didn't take very well, and then anyway, it's a long story. So what happened is with me, death, and dying. Yeah, it's really a sad situation. So what's happened is it makes us very conscious that we're only here for a short time. I've lost my parents and my husband since I've been working in radio, and it's very sad that I've had a radio show going with all this going on. But the death and dying and feeling that our souls go on and we're immortals, it has to keep us going. We have to have a faith and belief. And some people with UFO business, they don't know what they're seeing, and it was important. I almost didn't use the word UFO because it was so uncouth and so unappreciated during my lifetime. But it seems to be the only one that keeps people together, because we all know we grew up in a time when they went from flying saucers to UFOs, although some of us knew it was anomalies or unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, and now, like you said, UAVs, right? Let me see if I can get her on there. There's 2 numbers.
Yeah, she came back. She called back.
All right, there's 2 phone numbers here. Let me see which one. Now, this is the 5504. Is this Annie? Hello? All right, let me try this one. 5900. Is that better?
Yes. The 5504 is my husband calling in to listen.
Okay. Well, I'll put him on hold. Now, that's fine. Okay, so we've got you on now, Annie. This is Mike. Mike is in MUFON business.
Hi.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah.
How are you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Although we have a big storm going on up here. So, other than that, we're fine. Just unusual for Arizona to get snow.
That's because we're on the radio. They're after us.
Annie Gechman.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
Annie Gechman? Now, where are you in MUFON? He's in Connecticut. He's the executive director, or no, just director for the state. Is that right, Mike? How do we say you're
I'm the
MUFON
state director.
State director for Connecticut.
Yeah.
Okay. And Annie, where are you? What state do you represent?
I'm in Arizona, and I'm just a peon amongst them all. But with a background that's a little more unusual than most of them. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And Annie, we hope to have you back. We're definitely going to have Mike back in another week. So, Mike, I'm going to let you go. You're welcome to hang on and listen, but we're going to give Annie the airtime now, Mike. So you're welcome to hang around if you want to hear her story. I'm just going to have to mute you. So thank you, Mike. We enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Enjoy having you back. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Janet, last word to Mike?
Yep.
Okay. Hi. Hi, Annie. Thanks for coming on. We're going to start with you telling us a little bit about yourself. Let me see what you wrote. I'll give an overview, and then we'll pass the talking stick to you. So you had experiences that began before birth, and you didn't know about them until you were in your teen years, and then somebody told you about the hybridization program.
Actually,
so at 3...
Not quite. I was experienced from birth because of how I became what I am. But at 3 years, my mother took me to a special play group, and if you have the script in front of you, you see where I'm going on that. And
why don't you just start from the beginning? Yeah, and then we'll listen for about 10, 15 minutes, okay? And then we'll ask you questions.
Well, that's
Go
what
ahead.
I'm doing then. I'm doing the chronological.
Okay.
So at 3 years old, she used to take me to what was supposed to be a special play group for special children like me. Well, 3 years old like me means other 3-year-olds. That's good. And it went on intermittently over a few years, but it didn't turn out to be that. I mean, it was for our children that had been identified as having greater abilities intellectually and otherwise. And as it turned out, as I learned later on, when I became aware of it, we went to a disclosed location, but was really undisclosed because from there was a group of us, whoever the numbers were, apparently we were taken to the ship where we were educated during these sessions. And it took place a few times a year, and ironically, not too long ago, in fact, several weeks ago, I was talking to a friend of mine that's also involved in the industry, and we got to talking, and I was telling her about that experience. And she said, "Oh, my Lord, Annie," she said, "I think we were in the same group when we were both 3 years old. We're both the same age." And it was just an interesting awareness on her end because we had never discussed it before. And so here I've been friendly with someone that is going through a lot of the same things as I am, but we don't know for a fact that we were in the same group, but she lived near me, and her mother took her the same way my mother took me, and we dropped off, and we were wherever we were, and it appears that we were on the ship, and I've been sent information by my family, not my human family, but over years as I grew, and they felt I was at a point where I could handle information. And as I became more consciously aware and exoconsciously involved, more started coming to me. So that was the main thing when I was 3 years old. And as I got a few years older, I knew things that there was no reason for me to know at the ages of 4 and 5 and early years of 6 years old. So I just accepted it. It was part of who I am. And although I didn't know who I was at the time, certainly. When I was 6, my brother and I were put into a private school in Tucson. My mother had health issues and had to go out there. And during the stay there for a year and a half, 2 years, the whole school came down with measles, but I was the last one to come down with them. And I was in my bunkhouse, in my bunk bed, all by myself. It was perfectly quiet. And I'm just looking around like a child of 6 does, 6 and a half, 6 years old. And all of a sudden, there were 3 beings at the end of my bed. And I wasn't scared. I had no reason to be scared. I guess I felt as if I'd known them. And they thought I might be, so they telepathically started communicating with me. And they said, "We're here to let you know this is who we are. And we've been with you since you were born. And we'll continue to be with you the rest of your life. We'll educate you, train you, and keep you safe." Well, that's when I became consciously aware of what was going on. I was never scared. I was never concerned because they had already started apparently talking to me, but consciously I wasn't quite aware of really what was going on. I was so young. And then after they engaged with me that way, they said, "We'll see you soon," and they disappeared. But ongoing telepathic communications continued, and now that I was familiar with that, I could now listen and react or respond accordingly. And before that, I was just hearing things, and I had no idea where they were coming from, of course. So it turned out, I understood who they were, and they were always guiding me, and they were keeping me safe. So I have to say that at 6 years old is when I became conscious and consciously aware and maybe partly exoconsciously aware at that point. So there I am at 6 years old, starting to learn more about myself, never questioned it. I didn't have the whole picture, however, because they're telling me they were with me since I was born, so that's why I say they've been with me since I was born. the next few years were pretty static in terms of anything unusual, and I realized later on as I did